George was actually a good vlogger. Like I'm not a vlog guy, but George was actually good.
Yeah, I was okay.
Keep it really close.
Hold it close. You want to be able to fist away?
I'm a podcast veteran now, so I kind of
That's it, eh?
Kind of have it going. Got to keep it close, kind of low, but you don't want to have your face too close to the mic.
Yeah, you just got be loud because our mics aren't. We need new mics. We'll leave
Danielle will point she'll like nudge you if it gets too like. Whatever.
But don't worry, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
And if you turn this way to face, just move the mic with you. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think move this.
You can move the whole stand. Like it makes it easier.
Oh yeah.
Just push it away from you, closer to you.
Cool. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good.
You gotta pull closer than that. I think you have to go right. Honestly, unless you project, right there's probably probably pretty
good. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I was a sick vlogger.
How long you been vlogging for?
Oh, is this recording right now?
Yeah, we're good.
We just kind of start. We just get into it.
I thought you had kind of an intro. Sorry.
3, 2, 1. That's it. We started.
Wait, actually, we don't. We haven't done our intros kept getting messed up because we would I just take clips of shit you would say.
All right. Well,
this
is episode 150-ish, give or take.
I think 145 or something, right?
145. Wow, he listens.
The only reason why I know this is because I saw on your page it was guest 143 or something. So I'm like, okay, around the 140s.
Yeah. It's crazy that we started this over 2 years ago. We had our 2-year anniversary.
January 16th.
Yeah.
January 16th.
I think I looked at the somehow I saw the first video. Yeah.
To answer your question, I've been vlogging for over a year now.
Really?
I started in February. Actually, 11 months. Okay. So February 2020 is when I first started making YouTube videos, posting vlogs, tutorials.
Wait, 2020? So 2 years.
Oh, sorry. 2021.
Oh,
what am I saying?
Okay, I was gonna say,
It's been so long of not knowing the time sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
So a year, 11 months. So February 2021, when I started doing my YouTube channel, I started doing vlogs, tutorials on photography or Lightroom, Photoshop, and Final Cut Pro. Okay. Is what the editing program I use for editing videos. So started doing that, still stuck with photography, and then started traveling a lot in 2021 when I went to California for 3 weeks, went to Montreal for about 2-3 days, then I went to BC for 3 weeks, which was amazing.
Not bad.
Yeah. So it was
especially 2021 minus our road trip was the least I've traveled in my life.
Really?
If you take away the road trip, because we didn't leave. Yeah.
No, 2020. Did you go on 2020?
I went on 3 trips in 2020.
Oh.
Yeah. Even right before lockdown. Think about me and you went to Chicago 2020. Remember that weekend getaway? We went in there for 48 hours.
It was 2019. Oh, 2019 was with our moms and we went back in 2020 in February.
We spent.
I always forget. I remember that recently.
It came up in my phone. Yeah. That's how I remembered the notifications. The memories in your iPhone. It came in. You know what picture it was? Picture you sizing up at the airport.
Yeah, I figured that terrible one.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's great. And I still remember my time before lockdowns happened. I remember
the good old days.
No, the great days. So me and my family went to the Philippines for about 3 weeks. And
is that where you're from?
That's where my parents are from, right? I was born in Canada, born in Mississauga. And right before the whole mask mandates and the whole lockdowns, I remembered I was visiting cousins on an island called Siargao. And we were staying with family. And one of my cousin's dad, because they're not technically related to us by marriage. They're not blood related, but they're related by marriage. Anyways, so this is when Asia started getting hit, and he's like, so hate to report it, but we have a couple cases on the touristic side of Siargao where the beach is called Cloud 9. And surprisingly enough, well, not really, it was Chinese tourists that were spreading the virus. So this was when we had no mask on. Honestly, me and my family, we think about it, we didn't even really think about it too much. We didn't take it that seriously. We were still roaming the island, talking to people no social distancing existed. And so that was over 2 years ago now, and I still have it on my phone, memories showing I was at Siargao for couple of days.
We were in Scottsdale for my brother's bachelor party. Literally, as everything was happening, NBA got shut down the day we left Scottsdale.
Oh, that was crazy.
It was NBA, NHL.
NBA was the first, I think they shut down, and then everything else.
And then when
first
was
one,
it?
right?
March 12th.
So it wasn't that you got back from Vegas after weren't we in February or was it March?
We were in
February. Scottsdale.
So I think it was
February
like the 9th,
8th, wasn't it?
No, it was March.
March? Oh, I always think it was February, but you're right. Like March 8th or 9th or something.
It's like 8 to. I think we were there 7 to 10, and then I went to Vegas after.
Wow, we were like really like the last before travel. I always thought it was February before, but yeah, we got back when things started like popping off.
I got back the Friday, and it was the first day that they said if you've been traveling internationally, you have to quarantine for 14 days.
And you know what's funny about that? You know why I know this already is because I watched the podcast with Anthony Ernesto, and you talked about it at the very beginning, and I just want to shout them out, Anthony Ernesto.
Shout out you guys.
Love that episode with you guys, and like that was the first episode.
Did we do 2 with them?
Yeah, you did.
We did 2 with Ernesto, one, and then Anth came the second time.
Yeah.
I think
Ernesto came to my condo.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that I was looking on your channel, and I wanted to find the first episode with with Ernesto, and I guess you privated it.
No, we didn't have video back then.
Oh, it was only on.
We only started doing video.
Like one of the last couple episodes at the condo.
Yeah, we did a good amount
the thumbnails on the couch. Yeah, on the couch.
Yeah. It was in your living room.
Because we had Donovan Bailey was there.
Yeah, yeah. But you go upstairs. The only ones upstairs were Sam Clark
and Kylie.
No, yeah, she was the first one.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. She I remember she didn't like the video. And then we had Patch Adams,
Crash Adams. Yeah,
Crash Adams with suits on.
Yeah. Those guys are pretty cool because they actually take the couch and they go on the middle of the street. And they take photos. And the funny thing is, I saw them twice do this. I was driving on Strawn and Queen, where Trinity Bellwoods is.
Right here,
right around the corner,
literally block away.
Yeah. So I'm in my car and I see them pull a couch, the red couch, in the middle of the street. I'm like, okay, these guys are not normal guys if they're gonna be pulling a couch out of nowhere and putting it in the middle of the street and taking photos. They have to be some sort of influencer or an artist or somebody with a social presence to be doing this.
They blew up on TikTok in the last year.
Yeah.
They won that contest and they started putting I think they got on a couple 100,000 followers, maybe 500,000, maybe more. I don't know.
And I didn't know anything about them till even when Rick was telling them to come on. And I listened to their music and very, very catchy music. The first song. That song Caroline. I like all kinds of music. Literally, I'll listen to anything. I can listen, even not country. I used to say not country, but I'll listen to literally anything. Their music is very much the kind of type of vibe, type of beat, all that stuff that I like. That's not either house or EDM, electronic music, if you will. I like
it's good,
rock, pop. Soul music, but that kind of pop music I really like. Kind of sounds like Lumineers, but also kind of more poppy. I don't explain it.
It's good, top 40 pop song.
Kind of like that, yeah. And I really like that.
Generic. You can just hear it. I can hear it on the radio, even though I don't think it made it to the radio.
I don't know.
I know I feel like it's one of those Radiohead songs, but they're good people. And then they blew up recently. They actually took the couch in the States, or they got a new couch in the States and drove it all through LA or Cali or something.
Yeah, they took a yellow one and they went to the Santa Monica Pier, and I saw all their photos. And then the second time was on Bay in Wellington. They did the exact same thing, and I messaged them I seen you guys do this just randomly. It was just funny.
I was talking with I shouldn't say his real name. I was talking with Crash. And they did it one day when it was 33 degrees outside, and they all had their suits on. And you're like, yo, I respect it, because they have normal jobs, I think, so they can only do this on weekends or after hours.
Really?
So they try and do it a lot on Saturdays, I think, and they did it on one Saturday. It was literally 33 degrees.
That's insane.
You just see them the background scenes, they're just sweating their balls off.
I think I saw those videos. The guy, they were drenched, just crazy.
Drenched, they got their white shirts are just completely see through at this point.
I respect the fact that they would go they do it all themselves. They're really getting out there and doing it.
You have to,
right?
You got to do something that stands out, and then it's working, right? They've got X amount of followers on TikTok, and I think they played a show actually last summer, and I think they sold out.
Really?
I want to say it was at the El Macombo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shout out to Weckerly.
Yeah. Shout out to Crash Adams too, man. You guys are great guys. If you're listening to this, what's up?
Yeah. And what I respect about you guys the most is that you still are posting podcasts, and you're not the biggest podcast in Toronto, but
whoa. No, I'm kidding.
But at the same time, you guys are still doing it because you love to do it, regardless of the views or the subscribers that you get. And it's similar to Anthony and Ernesto, because they've been preaching it for many, many years now. They're we don't care about how many views we get, how many subscribers we get, as long as there's people that support them and they watch their videos and they give good feedback. That's all that matters. and it took them one video for them to like go from where they were to just growing immensely now. And that's what I respect about you guys, is that you continue the hustle regardless of what you feel on social media.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
We were actually literally just talking about this today.
100%.
So we're not, I'm not saying a crossroads, but we kind of have a little bit of like differences. And I guess this will be good for the listeners to hear.
Sure,
too.
yeah.
So
not differences, to be clear as well. Not differences like we are like, oh, I like this
fighting
more,
or
you like this.
anything.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. We just like our what we like as we get older changes.
yeah. And what we want to get out of this podcast, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, we have listeners, but we do this for ourselves. Like, I don't know, you probably don't know this, but when we started the podcast, we were in my parents' house in Florida back in, I guess, December 2019, January 2020.
Yeah.
And we were saying, okay, talk about New Year's resolutions and some goals for the year. And I said, we want to do something different that we haven't done. So we said, okay, let's start this podcast so we hang out once a week for 52 weeks. And that was how it started. We're going to do 52 episodes, and that's it, once a week.
Dope.
Well, then we started doing it. We started getting some traction, and we started to kind of get some bigger guests, and we were having a lot of fun with it. So we started doing 2 a week, blah, blah, blah. But now kind of we're at that point where it's, a lot's changed for us in the last year. We started a tech startup where, George's in a pretty long-term relationship now, a year and a half almost.
Yeah.
I'm insanely single, like doing shit on TikTok, like kind of, we're all both in different places than we were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're saying, like, the thing I love about this podcast is that it gives me a chance to meet people I would normally never get to meet, and to hear different stories and kind of hear interesting stories. And that's kind of been always my perspective, is I want to talk to people that are doing interesting and cool things and hear their stories. I love the storyteller mentality.
Yeah.
And George, I guess you can talk about what kind of you like and what you want to get out of the podcast.
Yeah, like, look, don't get me wrong. I like hearing like people, where they come from, what they're about, what they're doing, how they got there, and so forth. Like, it's nice to hear people's journey and also what they've learned along the way. But I've always been someone who likes to like discuss ideas with people and kind of like the thought process and logic. And I have an opinion on something. You have an opinion. Okay, like, why do you think that? And like, can I learn something from you? And yeah, we've been talking about this a lot lately, because we both wanna like be able to sit here and get a lot of value out of it, but also make sure that we're each getting what we want out of it and keeping that direction like kind of in line, so we're not one guy's pulling this way to talk ideas, one guy's doing this for story. So we started chatting about it to see, because we've been doing this for a long time now.
Over 2 years.
And 150 episodes is a lot. Like, again, we started this to do one episode a week, and we ended up like the 2, sometimes 3. It's been a lot of fun and met some amazing people. It's just like, as you start getting bigger and growing an audience and becoming the biggest podcast in Toronto, naturally, like, you get pressure. You got to maintain a certain je ne sais quoi. I don't know the word I'm trying to say, but you got to maintain this like high standard. So we want to make sure that we're aligned. And new year, you realign the goals, and we'll leave it at that.
The same old quote: "New year, new me."
That's it. Yeah. Honestly, I haven't heard that one in a while. Actually, that's funny. People used to say that so much, and it kind of faded out. I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah,
but it used to be the number one, like, it was the number one Instagram caption, then it became a sarcastic one, and then it kind of like people made fun of it even more, and then you never see it anymore.
Yeah, so
I don't have social media.
It's a funny thing. There's a group. Have you guys heard of a group called For Your Entertainment?
No.
So they're from Brampton originally, and they live in Toronto, and they did a whole series on that called The New Year, New Me, right? But every year it'd be like, so the first one they did was basically like, oh, this is what I'm going to change about myself, and then they go back to the old ways. And then the year following, they make a sequel to it, and they start reminiscing about what they did in the last video. And so it's like a continuous series for like maybe 3 to 4 years, where it's like with a funny dialogue of like, new year, new me, right? And it was just like they kind of have like visions of like what happened before, and it's just a continuous story that they create every single year. And you gotta look it up, because it's so funny.
I actually saw a really funny one on that, and I can't remember if it was New Year's or something else, but a guy, he's like, you see this viral TikTok, and it was a viral TikTok from last, I guess, New Year's 2021.
Yeah.
Where it talks about, it was like a song, it says, I spent whatever, 2 months with you, spending the next forever with you. And it was a viral TikTok around last New Year's.
Spending 2 months with you.
So it's like couples that are still fairly new, but it's like, we've only been together for 2 months or 3 months. Yeah. Can't wait to spend forever with you. Right? So it was a viral TikTok.
Did he go dig it all up?
So wait, he's like, so you always see this, but I wonder how many are actually still together. So I created an app. It's called Rebound, and it Basically, he plugged it in. You can plug in if they're following each other on social media, and then you get a notification when they unfollow each other.
Shut up.
And he goes, funny enough that you might think that about 73% of these couples are no longer together.
Come on.
I don't know if it's real or if it's just like a TikTok joke.
That's pretty
But
funny.
I actually died because it's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, New Year's, every couple, you see them posting pictures together. So happy. Can't wait to spend the next whatever with you. And it's like 6 months later, you don't see them posting shit. You know, like,
So a
so much for forever. I guess
question.
forever's only 6 months these days.
So a follow-up question then.
I gotta show you out there.
Would you still be friends with your ex? Okay, and obviously it depends, but let's say you ended on good terms or mutual terms where there's no one did anything wrong to each other, like in terms of, let's say, cheating on each other or whatever the case may be, right? Would you still be friends with that person?
You want to go first? You want me to go first? I'll go. I'm acquaintances with almost every single one of my exes except 2. And I've had like 6.
Okay.
And my most recent ex, Becca, shout out Bex if you listen. We actually text like maybe, I don't know, once every couple of weeks.
Okay.
I actually just texted her the other day. I made her a Bengals fan.
Okay.
So a Cincinnati Bengals fan. I was like, I helped her pick a team and I pushed her towards the Bengals. And I texted her the other day. I was like, how happy that I pushed you towards the Bengals because now they're going to Super Bowl. And then funny enough, I was telling my mom the story. She showed me a picture. She goes, she posted a picture wearing the Bengals jersey. I was like, I fucking bought that jersey. It's sitting in my bedroom closet.
Oh, this is an old picture.
Yeah, I guess she took it when I gave it to her. And then she must have brought it to my house one Sunday and just forgot to take it because it's still in my closet.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I'm like, you're not going to be like super close with them. I'm not telling them about my life and this and that. But, you know, like something like a funny memory will pop up in my phone and I'll send it to her and be like, remember this? Like, this is hilarious.
That's
and
true.
I got some funny ones. So.
Yeah. What about you, George?
Yeah, like acquaintances. Like most of mine, like, I mean, yeah, for the most
George
part,
only
like
had, like,
amicable
2.
terms. Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't had many like serious relationships. I was pretty much like, I don't know, until recently. Like my last relationship was like years ago, but like around university, like a long time ago. So
Yeah. What university did you go to?
Western. Both of us went to
Oh,
Western.
shout out to Western.
Yeah.
Western over Queens.
100%.
Yeah. And so to answer my own question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same thing where I'm acquaintances with my recent ex, right? I don't really talk about it on social media.
You want to give her a shout out?
She's not even going to watch this, but
You never know.
shout out to Alyssa.
Shout out to Alyssa.
Yeah, so...
Put you on the spot there, eh?
Yeah.
If you weren't close, now you are.
Well, the thing is, okay, so to kind of say what I said, like, we're acquaintances, we're not really friends, like, we still keep in contact, we still follow each other on social media, although I don't really put it out on, like, social media, like, oh, we broke up, like every other celebrity or every other social influencer does, right? Because I'm not like that. I'm a regular person where I don't really put my business like that unless I do it myself, right? Instead of having other people do it for me, because it's none of their business to really know that. So I've had maybe 3 to 4 serious relationships, and she's like the one acquaintance that I know still.
That's funny. I'm the opposite. I don't follow any of my exes on social media. Not any. Sorry, maybe I follow a couple of them, but like I still stay in touch. If I see them, my high school girlfriend wishes me Merry Christmas every year. We talk on Christmas and birthdays. That's it. Ange, shout out Ange.
What about Easter?
No, Easter no.
No?
Birthday and Christmas. That's when we talk.
Well, I mean, and New Year's. I mean,
no, New Year's we don't do New Year's. Just birthday and.
What about you, George? Like, do you like?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
I barely mess with my friends.
Yeah.
I'll honestly, like my phone, the most active my phone is when Danielle blows it up like for 10 messages at a time to tell us something. Like,
yeah, Danielle's the best because
guys,
Danielle will text you like 8 different messages to get one message across.
I talk to we have like our pals chats. We're talking about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Danielle's best friends with my girlfriend. So
Okay.
I talk like with the chat of Danielle and my girlfriend more than just me and my actual girlfriend. Danielle will be like, cool, we're doing this today. I'm like, all right, cool, let's hang out, whatever. Let's do
That's
it.
true.
Like
That's
I'm bad with my phone. Like I don't say bad with my phone. That's people say that all the time. Oh, I don't check my phone. That's bullshit. Like I have my phone on me at all times. I just for some reason I'm bad. Maybe I'm a bad friend. I don't call people out of the blue and be like, hey, what's going on? Some people I do, but not for the most part. Unless I have something to talk about, and I won't like text people unless I have some thought in my head that I need to like talk to them about specifically. I'm not a big small talk guy.
That's honestly.
You were gonna
true.
say that, eh?
No, because I was gonna say whenever George calls me, it's about something.
Okay.
You know, it's not like, hey, like what's going on? Like how was your trip? You know,
Hang on. I called you on your trip, and I called you in Cincinnati.
No, because I forget.
You were in Cincinnati, Tennessee, and Florida. You traveled 2 weekends in a row. I called you both weekends.
No, because you asked me something.
No, the Tennessee one, I wanted like a recap of what happened.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, shout out to Glenn Jamin. I wish I was down there.
Glenn Johnson.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like whenever you get a call from a specific person, you know it's important. It's not just like a random.
Usually with George, I'll know something like something's up, but it's like you want to talk about something. It's not like just, hey, I'm talking. I have another friend, Moretti, one of our boys. He calls just to call. He's in the car. It's like,
never calls me though.
Shots fired.
He's called me lately. Shout out to Moretti.
Yeah, and then I got I'm the type, I'll call people just to say what's up and check in and whatever. And I was actually telling George this today. We have one of our buddies, DB. Some days I call him and it's like, what do you want? I'm like, bro, we're best friends. I'm just calling to say hello. Like, see how your day is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm working. Okay, how's work? Busy, man. All right, did you do anything this weekend? No, what do you think? We're in lockdown. Like, bro, have a fucking conversation with your best friend. Like, fuck off. Like,
She's calling.
I gotta send him this clip, man. Fucking guy.
Yeah.
But the best is when he calls me. I'm like, "What's up?"
He called me today, actually.
Yeah, when he calls, I'm
called
like,
me today.
"What's up? You good?" Or he'll text me randomly. Like he did today. He's like, "Yo, bitch, I tried a new meal service plan. It's pretty good. If you want to check it out, it's called Meals or something."
He messaged me today. Thanks, we're trying about credit cards. He called me today. It was nice. It's nice to hear from you, DB.
Yeah, it is really nice. When
the
DB
best.
calls.
Sorry, not just on this topic. I know you don't know our friends, but the best people there's two people that call me very often on like a weekly basis. Rick will call to chit chat. I call him sometimes to chit chat, but mostly I know I'm gonna see him. I'll save the conversation till then. My cousin George, same name.
Actually, George is
he'll call me a few times a week, and I've actually I'm terrible. He's like one of my best friends, like family too. Like we're super close. But he'll always call me, and I never call him. I'll call you back, and I forget to I'll do the auto reply, and I'll call him 2 days later. I'm like, sorry. He's like, are you busy still? I was like, yeah. He's like, thank God I don't hold my breath. but I've been making a better effort to call people. And make small talk.
I think that's just like a BS excuse when people are like, oh, like I wasn't checking my phone. I'm like, 9 times out of 10, somebody's checking their phone, and they're just selective of who they want to talk to.
100%. Do you want to know who's the absolute worst? Either calling people or texting people? My brother.
Yeah, John, I'm still waiting for that call back, buddy. You know what the good thing is? John's caught up on episodes, so he'll hear this. I called John this past weekend to ask him about something related to mortgages, and I even gave him the courtesy. I'm like, John, this is what I want to know about. Is this going to warrant are you busy? If it's going to be a long conversation, call me back. Yeah, I need more time. I'll call you back. It's been a week, John.
At my brother's wedding, we literally, me and his best friend, not roast him, playfully roast him, because if you need to get something from my brother, you have to text his wife.
Wait, I think I texted him today. I haven't heard back yet.
Like my own brother.
I messaged John.
So the best is sometimes me and my brother work together.
I messaged him an hour ago.
He works downstairs, right? And we have coffee. We have lunch and coffee together every day, 5 days a week.
Okay.
So there'd be sometimes I'll text him the night before, and actually he is getting better now. But maybe like a year or two ago, I would text him the night before, and then I'd see him in the morning. I'd be like, "Hey, did you get my text?" Yeah. Like, and I knew I was gonna see you today. Like. So should I just wait? I won't even text you. I know I'll see you tomorrow. But no, he's getting better. So shout out John because he is gonna listen. I'm not even gonna tell him that we said this about him because he'll listen.
You know what you should do? You should definitely cut up your videos from your podcast and put them on TikTok.
We really should do that, Danielle.
Yeah, but I also don't edit the videos in time. That's my fault too.
Yeah,
so I edit the videos right now. Danielle will probably do them soon, but I do all the editing. I use Final Cut Pro as well.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy.
Because I kind of wanted to segue into social media a bit because...
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I got a lot of strong opinions on social media.
Segues himself. I like this. Making our job easier.
Because you know why? Because I'm a podcast veteran now. So
he goes a couple podcasts, calls himself a vet now. I like that. Okay, let's jump into social media.
Well, because I think if you're doing a podcast, you have so much content within an episode of, let's say, an hour to an hour and a half of conversations, right? And
he knows how long our episodes are too. Good.
And so you could really take a lot of those clips, put it on TikTok, and if you post 5 or even 10 videos a day, that's depending on how much clips you could get from an episode, right? And you put videos at a conversation, people that talk to you, comment about their opinions or something controversial, right? And I give you an example. Do you guys know Jack Denmo by chance?
I don't know him. I saw him on Ernesto's podcast.
Jack Denmo?
Yes.
He's got a podcast too.
Explain so our listeners know who he is.
So basically, he's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber who started doing drunk interviews, and he actually talked with Anthony Ernesto on his podcast before about it. And he would go to homecomings and just basically film sort of mini movies with them and put it on YouTube. Right. So then now he started to get into podcasting more, and he has 2 different podcasts. Right. And one of the podcasts is called Good Bro, Bad Bro. And it's basically him and his buddy talking about relationships, women, men in general, and how psychologically they think or how they think of situations. Right. And he intentionally does this where he talks about a lot of like conversations about women that get feminists mad and talk to his like comment on his videos about like you're a feminist, you're sexist, or like you're a misogynistic type of guy. What he's doing is he's making his videos more popular and growing his page on TikTok because of the controversy. And not to say that you guys are gonna be controversial, but there's a lot of topics with a lot of different guests that you could draw people into seeing like, oh, you got Donovan Bailey, you got, I don't know, who else? Four Corners, for example. You got so many different people from Toronto or across the GTA that you could tag them in, put them on Instagram, and it's a lot of work. So you would have to have somebody else do all of that content. Right?
It's crazy, eh? What
it's crazy.
What are 3 people at this podcast?
Wow. Weird how that goes, eh? We got a manager. I don't know.
It's all right. Our manager's also a superstar accountant, so we can't, we can't put too much of a burn on her.
Right?
And plus, we don't pay her, so it's like, I get it. It's like, no.
She's just a good friend. Does pro bono work for us. Manages the computer over there.
Yeah. And she's part of the pals. She's part of the pals now.
Well, we agree with don't get me wrong. Rick's probably the social media. I mean, amongst the 2 of us, certainly. 3 of us. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's probably more tapped in, but I would say Ricky is pretty good at putting out objectionable content or whatever the word I'm looking for.
I'm good at putting out content. We don't know how the content is.
Listen, there's trade-offs, right? Like it depends what reason to do it for. I get the rise of social media, and I understand I think we're all in agreement that there, is a benefit to help growing your brand and so forth. And a lot of people that have podcasts do that sort of thing where they release clips. And I mean, even Joe Rogan does it. He puts them on YouTube.
Exactly.
It's just like a lot of it too is ROI. I know, it's hard. Is the cart or the horse comes first? Do you do that stuff to help grow it, or do you grow something and grow a loyal following and then start to fuel it and grow it? Right? It's very hard because it's easy to manufacture views and it's easier to grow views. It's easier to make clickbaity clips. It's easier to make sound bites and all that stuff. Take stuff out of context. And again, I don't know this guy you're talking about. I'm not gonna assume what he's doing, but let's say for instance he picks out maybe the hottest take that he has, try to stir people up. Mm-hmm. We can do that too. Yeah. But I think overall, we like the aspect of hearing people getting the full context, the full story, right? So if you put a video up on TikTok, my assumption is the shorter video, the better.
Yeah,
that correct. A lot of the video clips that we put onto Instagram are about 30 seconds to a minute usually.
Yeah,
a minute, 2 minutes. Yeah, minute, 2 minutes. So I guess that wouldn't do super well, but it also gives the full context, right? And I don't really know where I'm going at this point, if I'm being completely honest, but I think it's just a trade-off of time and ROI. Is it worth it for us to keep doing that now and so forth? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And what is sort of your goal with the YouTube channel? Did you guys already establish something? Have you reached your goal?
It's a great question.
Yeah. So with the thing about it, YouTube is when we started, it's just an extra platform that puts us on one more pedal, right? We've got, I don't know, 600 subscribers. I don't know,
676 I last checked.
Wow, okay.
He knows more about YouTube than us.
He did his homework, okay. Yeah, so we have, it's not saying we have a lot. I don't know how many we have on Apple and Spotify. I haven't checked the numbers in forever. But prior to that, you got probably about a third of our downloads were coming from YouTube. Some episodes do really well. Some episodes don't do as well. Some we put money into marketing. Some we don't. That being said, it helps legitimize it, right? Because when sponsors, our old sponsors, when we didn't release a video because we lost it or we forgot or whatever, they would say hey, what happened to the video? Sometimes when we had Cottage Springs as a sponsor in Kingsville, we had random I forget what water company we had on our table.
Cycle.
Was it that?
Cycle water?
No, wasn't it the box water?
Oh.
Flow. We had Flow on our table. They sent us a bunch of water. When people need water, we'll grab whatever water's in the fridge, we give them water.
Of course.
Well, it turns out Cottage Springs had a water company within their brand of companies.
Oh.
So they sent us an email like, hey, we saw this on the table. Like, do you mind not putting it on the table or putting it beside? Or we'll send you water. So they ended up sending us a bunch of the, what was it called? Do you remember?
Some kind of
some caffeinated water. We still have a couple left.
There.
Wasn't my favorite, but shouldn't say that.
I mean, are you still sponsored by Cottage?
No.
Okay, so then you could say.
Yeah, we could say it. No, but plus, we love their other stuff.
Rick's trying to keep the doors open, not shut them.
No, okay, we do love Cottage Springs, but in general, the water we didn't love, and I did tell them that. So.
Well, I mean, it's good to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So
gotta be yourself, gotta be genuine.
But yeah, so with it helps legitimize it. Plus, it just helps with the numbers too, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of provides both, and some people like generally watching it. Like our Johnny Orlando one on YouTube did like 10K, 15K, I think.
Yeah, it's because you know why? It's
Johnny
just
Orlando.
did he ever promote it?
Yeah, he shared it.
Okay, yeah. So that's an example of like if your guest has like you could kind of, and not to disrespect anyone. I'm saying depending on who the guest is and how loyal the audience is into watching your videos, they're gonna watch whatever they share. So like if you're getting like 10 to 15,000 views on a Johnny Orlando video, that's good because they have loyal followers that will watch anything that they appear on. So if your guests are sharing these videos and shouting you guys out and tagging you guys on social media, it kind of gets them curious. It's like, who are these two guys and why am I on this podcast? Like, what are they going to talk about, right?
My man's already saying he's going to share everything, eh?
Of course. I'm the type of guy to not tag people, follow people, and share it because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be on this podcast and I wouldn't be able to create content with you guys and put it on my YouTube channel and also help other fellow podcasters. Well, I'm not a podcaster, but creators have some new audience watch your videos, right? And be sort of open a door to new guests, new podcasts, and new content that they may have never seen, or maybe a guest in the past that they're like, oh, I never knew they were on this podcast. Like, why didn't they share it before, right?
Well, what? Sorry, I was going to ask this.
I was going to ask how you got I was going to ask kind of in the vein of your your vlog and your YouTube channel. I was going to ask how you got started in that. But if you want to ask something on this topic,
kind of. I'm like, okay, so what would you call yourself?
I would just call myself a travel.
Think about it.
Okay,
you got time.
A photographer, first of all.
What you can't call yourself everything.
Use one word to describe yourself. Okay, this is important.
It could be like a hyphenated word. If somebody
said
right?
what like it gay, I guess, because everyone knows who like what they are. Like you should have that sentence. Because it be one specific word. Okay. It could be like content creator or something. Yeah,
travel influencer.
Yeah, travel vlogger.
That's travel.
I'll go with that. Okay, but so and then there's obviously different avenues to what I create, and so that would be traveling, obviously incorporating photography and also kind of cinematic view montages, and also people that I meet and creators within the same industry or in the same areas that I live in.
I thought you were going to say content creator because that kind of like an all-encompassing, it includes the photos, the videos, the travel stuff.
Yeah.
But mind you, that's your word. You can.
I mean, but you're right though. I mean, I'm a content creator. It's just more. I think content creator sometimes is so broad and so generic where
that's true.
People could be
anybody can be it,
right?
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a content creator.
Like on TikTok, for example, like people could just be, and it's funny how we met. You could just be making a video of a boyfriend application, which is how I found this first of all, and that get like what 3 million views, 2.5 million views.
But who's counting?
Right.
I have a question after this too.
And basically what I'm saying is that you could become a content creator based off of one video and you don't necessarily have a niche that people create.
I got 20,000 followers from that video.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is dumb. Just dumb. Like even on Instagram, I think I got like 5,000 on that.
Yeah, and so I found Rick on Instagram because one of his videos was posted on, I think, on BlogTO or something.
Like that, yeah.
And so then we actually connected because we were on TikTok Live and I requested a battle with him.
I didn't even know what a battle was.
And so he was
I still don't know what it is.
He was just doing like I
was jarring my soup.
Right.
And that fucking weird soup you make. The blended soup.
Well, no, I was doing the chicken broth at that point.
Was it you that was like, what the hell is he making? Or was it someone said that to me? Yeah.
I made
a bizarre. Yeah, you put. I don't have Instagram. Like I got rid of mine.
Yeah, I was making chicken broth, and then what you do is all the leftover like vegetables, chicken, blah blah blah. You put in the blender, and you make a good like a thick chicken soup smoothie that you can drink on your way to work.
Interesting.
So that's what I do. I put it in a thermostat and I drink it on my way to work. Or
put it in a thermostat?
Oh, no,
is that what you just said?
A therma cup, whatever.
Oh, a thermostat. You know what thermostat is, right?
No,
okay.
Thing,
I thought I misheard that for a second.
I did say it.
I wasn't sure.
Or sometimes I'll just put it in a bowl. Oh, sorry, not a bowl. Like a mug. And I'll put it in the microwave. And that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was actually... anytime like I know I have like a long, tedious thing to do where I can actually chill and talk, I'll go on TikTok Live just because apparently it feeds the algorithm, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yeah. So I was like, hey, I know I got this. I have to jar all this soup and then jar all the broth and then make the soup. So it's about like an hour process for me because this isn't what I do every day. So make sure I'll go on TikTok Live. I think I have like 100 people watching me jar soup. And then that's when you came in.
Yeah. And so then I recognized the name. I'm like, wait, are you the guy that made the boyfriend application on TikTok that went viral? He's like, yeah, that's me. And then he kind of like, I sort of knew. He's like, oh, you know Ernesto. I'm like, yeah, like I did a podcast with him.
Yeah, I recognize you from the podcast.
And he's like, yeah, like you've been friends with him for 10 years. For those who don't know who he is, he's been a guest on the podcast.
Ernesto, most people will know.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Good guy.
Him and Anthony.
Yeah, both good people. Neighborhood Creative, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to them. I love those guys.
Yeah, and then we battled and battling. Like I still don't really know what it is. It's just like you just kind of vote for the person that's doing the better live.
So basically, what a battle is. Whoever's watching your video or whoever's watching you live, they send you gifts and you have up to 3 likes that goes towards the number count. So the more gifts that you send, the higher your total point score goes higher. And the biggest one is called a universe, which is like $350 worth of your own money. And
people buy this?
Yeah. And any time that somebody sends a universe on TikTok Live, it will show up at the very top of your screen in pink and it says,
I've seen that.
This person sent a universe to that host, right?
And that's $350.
Yeah, in real money.
350.
Yes.
Not $3.50.
No, that's the most.
I'm as mind blown as you are, buddy.
Right?
I've seen that before. Not on me. No one's ever given me that, but I've seen it at the top, and I'm like, ooh, that's cool. A little.
Yeah. And so there's.
Because I see them, right?
There's
and I'm
different.
like, that's $350. That's real money.
Yeah. So there's different gifts that have a certain amount of points that.
I thought they were all like 10 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 2 cents, 3 cents.
You said 10 cents like 5 times in there. 10 cents, 2 cents, 10 cents.
I always thought they were cents. I didn't know they were actually real money.
Yeah. So basically, this is a new way of people gaining money off of their TikTok lives because each gift is worth a certain amount of money. So whenever you finish a live and you say you get, I don't know, 100 gifts or something, and if you go to your settings and you check your live, and then you go to balance, it will show you how much money you got sent to you through that live. And then you could withdraw all that money and send it to your PayPal. And then obviously you PayPal to your bank account. So that's for
got $12 for my account, baby.
Yeah.
I'm rich.
So for Canadians,
yeah, you can have this.
Let me understand this.
So because content creators in Canada, they don't get paid through their videos. Only in like the US, Australia, the UK.
Wait, sorry, clarify that because on YouTube everyone gets paid.
Yeah, so basically we don't get monetized in Canada in terms of how many views you get on a certain on videos.
Are you talking about YouTube or TikTok?
TikTok. So it's the same.
Oh, okay.
It's the same sort of monetization.
Yeah.
Whereas
pay per view kind of thing.
Paid per views, right?
Yeah.
So the only way that Canadian content creators on TikTok could get paid is mainly through TikTok lives because that's real money getting sent to you into your bank account. Yeah, as a tip, basically.
A lot of platforms are introduced now. Twitter has that. Instagram
but wait, so people in the States get paid for
the video views. Yeah.
So,
but like every person on
or do
TikTok,
you have to have
or
a
like
certain
only
amount
specific amount of creators?
Talking to the mic, Danielle, so people can hear you.
Unmute yourself, yeah.
Yeah, because this is
hold the mic towards you though, so it's kind of far. You can adjust it.
Oh.
The red button.
Okay, so talk and I'll repeat what you say so people can understand.
As soon as you get a certain amount of followers.
So as soon as you get a certain amount of followers, and then you keep building it, and you can get paid.
You basically the amount of videos you have, you get paid per percent of like the views you get.
Wow. So it's like you probably pay per like million or something, though.
Or per thousand, I think.
Yeah, per 1,000
Because
maybe?
that's the same thing with YouTube, right?
So that's how all these like Josh Richardson guys and like Bryce, because you don't see them posting a lot of sponsored content.
No.
So I guess they like a video, TikTok gets 1 million hits.
Yeah.
Views, they get like $1,000 or something.
Well, actually, Josh Richards is Canadian.
So how does that work? So he moved to.
Depends if you're getting a visa in the States and you can get the creator fund in the States. You
Yeah.
start building your
Yeah,
brand.
because
you're talking about the creator funds.
yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, every platform has it.
Yeah,
But
basically,
you say
right?
not in Canada.
No,
yeah,
not-
it's US. It's all most
US,
focused.
UK, and
Yeah.
Australia is mainly the
Because the biggest
countries.
markets, most eyeballs.
Yeah, which I'm surprised Canada has not created their own creator fund because they have a TikTok Canada account.
Yeah,
But
but it's not the country. It's the platforms, right? So Snapchat was the first to announce it when they released Spotlight, which is obviously their algorithm that pushes random people stuff to their page. They announced, I think, a $40 million creator fund, and they were giving basically, I think they were giving away, or maybe it was $300 million. They were giving away $1 million a day, I think, to the most watched video or the most watched videos, and then disperse
Split
it.
out, yeah.
Then Facebook
Is
announced
that
they-
worldwide or just in the States?
to be honest, I'm not sure, but I would assume probably U.S. based.
Okay.
That's a guess. Maybe check that. Facebook was next. They announced a $3 billion creator fund because this is all coinciding with TikTok's rise, to keep in mind.
Yeah.
It was announced probably early pandemic 2020, 2021. TikTok was growing really fast. And then Facebook said they're going to dedicate $3 billion to creators.
And that includes Instagram too.
Right, because
Yeah.
the one thing which is interesting I find this interesting that it was YouTube was probably the first real like video or I guess content creator platform. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Because people can make their own content, release it, and that was the only platform for the longest time until now that monetized how many people watched it. Instagram never had it. TikTok until recently. YouTube is still one of the biggest, and they print money. They literally print money. They're one of the more profitable division within Google. But it's interesting that it took so long to get there. But I don't know how all of these work. But what my assumption is, to your point about Canada not having it, is because the corporate headquarters of all these companies are in most likely Silicon Valley.
True.
TikTok is Asia, but also ByteDance is Asia. TikTok is US. They're based in the US, and it's the same as like Super Bowl commercials. No one's paying for Canadian Super. I mean, they're paying, but they're not paying $1 million for 30 seconds in Canada. You're maybe paying a few $100,000. So it's relative, right? You want an ROI. So that's probably I'm guessing why Canada TikTok doesn't have it. Danielle's got to.
So to be eligible for TikTok for the creator fund,
So to be eligible for the TikTok Creator Fund,
US, UK, France, Germany,
UK, France, Spain, Italy,
18 years old,
18,
10,000 followers,
10K followers,
100,000 video views, and
100,000 video views.
and then follow the TikTok guidelines. and
Okay.
terms of service.
Yeah.
And from there, you decide based on the videos and the interactions you get, how much money you can receive, and it can change from like $5 for one video to $100,000 for another.
Okay, so there's requirements that you need to meet, and then eventually you get paid
But
per
sorry.
per 1,000 or per million video views.
Yeah, same thing with YouTube.
But did you also see now what TikTok's doing? They're paying $40 per sign up. New
Wait.
sign up.
What?
If you refer a friend to a new TikTok account, you get $40.
In rewards.
To send to people as gifts.
Oh,
like
I thought it was in
earlier.
cash.
No, it's the TikTok rewards program that they're creating. Basically, you can
Oh.
add cash to it, but then you also just get a rewards credit to use to give.
Oh, so that's how people are sending $350 gifts because it's not actually
That's-
their money.
Ah.
That's
But then
what I
someone
think-
else gets the money though.
Yeah. So
So I should just refer a whole bunch of people, these fugazi
And then-
people, and then just fucking give myself a $350 gift to one of my other
Well,
accounts.
you're not gonna send it to somebody. So you send it like to me, and I give it back to you.
Yeah. Well, no, I
Yeah.
sent it to like the Pals account or something.
Yeah.
Danielle's gonna finally get paid.
But this is the thing
That's
too. Like,
crazy.
yeah. What was I gonna say?
you were
Frick, I
saying
don't-
about the creator fund. You were saying something
No.
about.
Were you gonna
TikTok.
say about kind of how like user acquisition costs?
Oh, I was gonna say. This is what's interesting to me. People send these gifts, and
Yeah.
again, if you send gifts, great for you. I'm happy for you. But a lot of platforms are moving. Sorry, and I was saying that not like I was saying that like generally. I wasn't trying to be like condescending. What I was saying was like anybody who says that, I'm not trying to be rude to them, because if that gives you joy and you like someone's content, you want to reward them or show your like appreciation for it, that's terrific and that's great, because most people don't do that. Most people will watch it because it's free, but as soon as there's a paywall, it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Twitter now is implemented like subscription, Twitter Blue, whatever. So you pay $5 a month, and most like let's say like the top creators and writers or whatever, they put a paywall up now so you can't see all their best content. Instagram is doing this now too. The subscription service, so you basically pay. So let's say who's probably the most famous, I don't know. I don't have Instagram. I don't know, who's the biggest female celebrity on
Kim K probably.
Kim
or
K.
Selena Gomez.
Or
What? Okay. Well,
I guess Danielle's trying to figure out how to get it going.
Hang on.
So okay. Anyways, we'll
I
continue.
think technical difficulties. I think it's Kim Kardashian. I think. Or actually,
it's Selena.
No.
I think it's Selena then Kim K.
No, I think it's Kylie.
Oh yeah, I think no, but I know Selena's top like 5 overall. So I think it's like Ronaldo.
Kylie? Well, he's talking about females.
Yeah, but I think it's Ronaldo's 1, then Selena's 2,
And
then I
then-
think it's Messi, then Kylie, then Kim.
Let me rephrase this. Sorry, I messed that up. Like influencer.
Oh,
like not,
influencer.
like someone who got famous, not having a talent like in Hollywood or something, like, or a singer, like someone who just.
You can't say not having a talent.
Sorry. Okay. You know what? Isn't that girl Jen Selter famous for?
I was literally just gonna think that,
Okay.
but she has a talent. She's a personal trainer, so her.
But
her
before,
talent is
okay, fair. But most of her pictures
Yeah.
are what?
ass photos.
Right. So someone like her, for
Danielle,
instance.
just turn on the mic.
What's wrong? Are we
She
good?
wants to talk.
Now they can put a paywall up and put a subscription, right? So most people like that can monetize
Basically
it.
becomes OnlyFans.
Right. But that's the thing. But the thing is, sorry, that's not the thing. The thing is, most people aren't going to pay for the service because, like, no one cares. Like, and I don't mean this offensively. Jen Selter, you're probably a nice person, but like, you're going to put a paywall up. You probably lose a lot of people that are willing to pay for it, and most move on to, okay, there's another person who's objectionably looks the same, similar, whatever. And like, I think Twitter's seen this. Not a lot of people are willing to pay for content. So it'll be interesting to see how these platforms start to utilize this because it's trying to empower the creators to monetize their network.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I don't know if a lot of people are willing to do that. But I guess what I'm really getting out at this point is what I find interesting is that people give tips and all this kind of stuff, which again, if you show appreciation, that's great. That's awesome. Support the creators. But like to give $350 to somebody, you can go take that $350, buy a share in Apple, leave that in there for a very, very long time, and it'll make you more money day over day and year over year. I have a hard time understanding how people like even video games, let's say, these, like, what's kids is different, but people like rack up monies in virtual worlds and all that kind of stuff. I get it. If it brings you a lot of enjoyment, you should do it. But it's interesting to see how people allocate their money and what they put value into when they could do things that actually return tangible, like, value, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm getting on it right.
Well, mind you, that goes back to that's a bigger systemic problem about like financial literacy and like young
For
people.
sure,
A lot of people don't understand how the stock market works. They don't understand that if you buy a stock like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, one of these kind of massive, big companies, you can make thousands and thousands of dollars
For sure.
at the end of the day, right? But that's a kind of different
topic.
But you said it. Whatever brings you joy, people should do. That's
course.
There's that one tweet or somewhere. It's like, if you're the type of person who puts someone down for doing something they love, you're the worst type of person. Or doing something that brings you happiness, those are the worst type of people.
Oh yeah, I get that all the time.
I have an objection to that. What if the person that's a slippery slope? Because what if you're friends with the person and they have something that's a destructive behavior? What if you get joy out of doing drugs or out of being an alcoholic? Just saying, like, so what if you said that don't?
Yeah, I think the tweet was, if you're the type of person who puts someone down when they're excited about something.
Yeah, but again,
Something like that. George, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You know what you get.
I understand the premise. It's a generalization, but I understand
someone
the
who just bought a new purse for $500 and you're like, you paid $500 for that purse? Are you crazy? Are you psycho?
Well,
What's
that's
wrong
their
with
own
you?
money. That's their own choice. It's like you
Right?
can't.
If it brings you joy, do it.
You
Unless
can't-
it's a harmful kind of self-destructive thing.
Yeah. You can't control sometimes other people's decisions on what they do with their money.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I got a point of that, because then wouldn't be, like, as an example, wouldn't buying a purse that's, let's say, $5,000 kind of be self-destructive in a sense, because you're destructing your wealth to buy something that you probably don't really need. Danielle's going to tell you about how purses go up in value, but
There's certain purses
that
you can buy
for sure,
that are a better investment
for
than
sure,
putting in
it's the same as watches,
Yeah,
same as like
that's
Rolex versus Tag Heuer. Like, you're gonna buy something that.
know the certain luxury product that you should buy if you want to like make it an investment.
This is going to be awkward for the people listening because they won't be able to hear.
Danielle is saying basically the same premise of, like, there is purses,
Tangible
or
items.
if you want to say luxury goods that appreciate in value based on scarcity, based on demand and supply and so forth. That applies across everything. But, like, the thing is, the demand is only there for as long as people are willing to pay for it. And I guess what I'm getting at, not to convolute everything, like, it's fair, right? It's like people, it's true, you shouldn't put someone down if they're getting enjoyment or something, but it's also, like, very subjective to say, like, okay, well, like, is it self-destructive behavior? Because you shouldn't encourage people to do bad things, harmful things to themselves. It's their body, though. For all respect, like if somebody gets enjoyment out of drinking, like it's your body. Like you can do what you want. It kind of. I'm not going down this line either, but like we're in a world right now where everyone's talking about how to treat their body and whatever.
Of course.
Do whatever the hell you want. It's your body. What right does anyone have to tell you how to treat your body? Like if you want to put, if you like drugs or drinking or cigarette, like do it. It's your body.
True.
So like I see what you mean. You shouldn't harp on someone, but like. You're also not a bad person by giving someone advice saying, hey, that's probably not the best behavior.
It's not so much. I mean, I feel like it's sort of constructive criticism if you tell somebody your opinion and whether they agree or disagree with what you say, if they can acknowledge what you're saying and understand what your point is, then that's different from somebody who's defensive and doesn't agree with it and then makes themselves look like the victim. That's
actually a really good way to put it.
In the topic. So like, for example, like you were saying with people who are alcoholics or drug abusers and who are addicted to drugs, right? Let's say it's a family member or a close friend of yours that do drugs. Obviously, like you said, it's their own body. They could do how they want. Although, if it's somebody that you care about, you will say something to them and help them get through with it and recover and become sober from it, right? Although that's only if they're willing to take your advice and your help, right? If you go to a stranger and you ask them what they're doing and why they're drinking or why they're, doing drugs, and they don't care about you for their well-being, then that's their choice, right? You can't do anything about it to change their mind. And so it's very situational.
For sure, that's fair.
Right.
And I think you guys are looking too deep into this.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I think the example is like, oh my God, I just got engaged. Like, well, you're 31. You should have been engaged 5 years ago.
Okay. Anyone who does that deserves to be kicked in the shins.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. I'm just saying.
We got dark there. Alcoholics, drugs. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I'm just saying, like in general.
I know what you guys
It's just an example because he brought up that topic as a
mean.
conversation, right? So I just kind of wanted to.
We got really in the weeds off like donating money to creators and stuff. We really got into we got down into like quotes and then how they're we went too far. That it's rewind.
But that's what I like about
you want to do what?
Rewind it.
But that's what I like about podcasts because sometimes the best conversations are the ones that are not planned.
Bingo.
Right? And to kind of segue into what you said about drinking, we were talking offline how you started doing a 75-day...
75 hard.
75 hard?
Yeah, it's as much as I talk shit about social media, this is from social media.
Okay, so tell people, because we briefly mentioned it a little while ago, but he doesn't know, and maybe our listeners don't either.
So 75 hard was a fitness challenge that kind of got pretty popular. I guess not massively popular, but big on like TikTok and Instagram. Mm-hmm. Maybe I would say around a year ago, 2020.
Okay.
And 75 hard was a challenge that Anthony Frizella came up with. I believe that's his name. And essentially, like, I guess it was classified as like a fitness challenge by a lot of people, but it really is like a mental toughness and what's the word I'm looking for? A mental fortitude type challenge.
Okay.
What 75 hard is, it's 75 days, and essentially for the 75 days you follow the exact same things every single day. You have to do 2 workouts a day. Excuse me. Sorry, let me start again. You have to do a progress photo every day. So that's how I start my day. You do a progress photo. There's some science and I guess some literature on the fact that if you're taking a progress photo on a daily basis, it keeps you more accountable and also I think makes you a little bit more joyful or happy because you're seeing like kind of results and you're seeing yourself. So that's part of the challenge. You take a photo every day to gauge progress.
Okay.
You have to do 2 workouts a day. One of them has to be outdoors. So you do 2 45-minute workouts, 1 indoor, 1 outdoor.
Okay.
So or you can do both outdoor. So I've been outside every day this year so far, even through the frigid cold and the snowstorm, which is actually kind of nice. We'll talk about that in a minute. You have to drink a gallon of water, which I think is like 5 liters or 4 liters.
No, a gallon of water is 3.79 liters.
There you go. I love how you know that.
The only reason why I know is because like I talked to my dad about it, and then I looked it up on Siri, and it's like 3.79.
Yeah, you're right. It's under 4. So drink a gallon of water. Read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. That's like it says like nonfiction self-help, but I went to nonfiction. I don't read self-help too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's it. Oh, no drinking and no cheat meals.
Ooh.
The other one that they add in, I think, is for like, it's not part of 75 hard. It's part of like when you make it to like, I guess, stage 2 of the, once you finish it, you could take a 5-minute cold shower or like a cold bath, which I typically do ice baths.
Ice bath, yeah.
I do ice baths once, twice a week. Once a week, once every other week. So anyways, I decided this year, I'm not
they
big.
They call it a mental transformation program.
There you go.
That's what they call it.
Because it is, honestly, like the fitness, working out's not hard. Like once you get into a rhythm, working out's easy. It's getting over that hump, like the first couple weeks sticking to it. And historically, I've been someone who likes set resolutions. And then for the last couple of years, I'm not crazy about them. Like I think that they're New Year, like January 1 is just another day. I think trying to change your life in one day does not happen. Like You have to be willing to make incremental changes and like tiny little habits that build to something bigger. You can do that at any time. January 1 is convenient. I don't know why that's the day, but whatever. And this year just happened to be, I decided that I wanted to like start getting back in shape. Obviously put on some weight during the pandemic. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was running a lot, like got up to like 20, 30 Ks on weekends. Just got off of that. So put some weight on. So I said, you know what? I want to start something for the new year. Just do something to make me feel better. Planning on going to Europe this summer again. Just want to look nice. So I was like, let me try this thing. And yeah, I'm 32 days into it now. Haven't had a drop of alcohol.
Dope.
Haven't had when I say cheat meal, it's a bit ambiguous because you're supposed to pick a diet. Any diet you want. I forgot to mention that part. Any diet you want. It can be anything. I picked intermittent fasting. And I'm trying to stay off like natural. I'm not eating fast food. I'm staying off sugar. Like I have all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've stuck to it for 32 days. I feel amazing. I've slept better than I've ever slept, I think, in my entire life. Every night I have the most vivid dreams that I remember. Like I remember everything about them. I've dropped about 9 pounds in the first month.
Awesome.
Which I don't think is sustainable, but feel pretty good. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And that's the reason why I'm not drinking. And my challenge goes until March 19th approximately.
Yeah, well,
my dad's birthday is March 19th, and my dad, if there's one thing he's known for, it's his wine. So I am very much looking forward to that day.
You look great though, George.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You too, Rick.
Rick always looks good.
You and that bachelor smile there, you know.
I like getting my tires pumped. I do, but I wanted to go back to this Andy Frisella guy. So I've been Googling this the last little bit.
Okay.
So he runs in 2017. He was interviewed by Forbes. And they said he used his social media company to earn $100 million in sales for his supplement company. And then, so he must have been somebody already on social media when he started the 75 Hard. Well, this article's kind of bashing him, but
he's a podcast too, I think. He's like
yeah. But anyways, anyone's gonna bash.
There's a lot.
Somebody.
Yeah, there's a lot of. There's a lot of. That's the other thing I want to kind of touch on. I looked up 75 Hard to see if there's any like science or efficacy to what they're talking about. Any studies done, and you Google 75 Hard, like anything about 75 Hard, and you get like Men's Health. You know why you should stay away from 75 Hard. Men's Journal, 75 Hard is bad. New York Times, 75 Hard. You know, not all it's cracked up to be. And like, do I give a shit if there's science to this? Does anybody like? It's hard for me to understand. Like when if somebody who is a entrepreneur, let's say, or a social media expert, someone basically who's not a doctor or scientist, comes out with a challenge, there's probably not a whole lot of science to it, and they're not trying to be scientific and say you're gonna get rid of your cancer if you do this. He's trying to challenge people to to just stress themselves mentally and see if they can withstand it. Because frankly, he has I think he has a point. Like people need to stress themselves and challenge themselves. Jocko Willink, former SEAL, big podcaster, wrote a bunch of books. He talks about this too, like just challenge yourself with mental fortitude. David Goggins, very famous person.
Ross Edgley.
Yeah, Ross Edgley. Like there's these people that believe this. And yeah, some people say, oh yeah, it's like this alpha male toxicity type vibe, or all these guys want to be the raw, hard guys. But having mental fortitude is a lesson that is as old as time. Like it goes back to the Stoics of the Roman and ancient Greek times, where they said building mental fortitude it keeps you happy, gives you peace of mind, because it allows you to withstand punches and blows, bad news, good news, and weather it and not let it affect you, because that's the only way to have peace of mind. It's the only way to be happy with yourself. It's the only way to be able to deal with adversity, is being able to be up here, have something bad, have your leg get chopped off and be like, you know what? I still got another one. Or like
that's what I told a couple weeks ago on the pod. Remember about the farmer?
Yeah. Because you never know where your story ends and what's going to happen. But being mentally tough is super important. Anyways, back to the point of like the things bashing is I don't get why people like articles feel the need to like criticize it. You can say, hey, maybe it's not for everyone, or say this is the facts, but like coming at it from a negative angle of saying like, oh, it's not all it's cracked up to. Like, why do you take that approach? Just say here's the facts that we've looked up. Think for yourself, formulate your own opinion. Well, because I've done it so far, and do I like going outside when it's minus 22? Walking? No. Do I feel great after? Do I feel like I can take on the world? Do I feel really mentally sharp? Absolutely. So I can tell you, someone doing it right now, I think it's amazing.
Well, it's on you nailed it when you said talking about like building mental strength, because it is very hard to build mental strength.
Yeah.
And like to really challenge yourself mentally is very hard. We know how to physically get in shape. We know, how to lose weight. You just fucking burn more calories than you eat. Simple. For most of the time. But it's very hard to train your mind. And these challenges, that's what they're meant to do. It's a mental transformation.
Yeah.
If it was easy, it wouldn't fucking train your mind.
Of course.
It would be something you do every day, right?
Yeah.
By putting yourself in these difficult situations where you have to stick to something, you have to wake up early, you have to blah, 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 everything George said. By the end of the 75, you're in a new routine. You've changed your mentality on things. And that's the hard part. And I hate when people, I don't want to say the word bitch because I don't, that's not the right word, but I hate when people just complain and honestly bitch.
So
because people are trying to make themselves better, and because good way. Because it's true. Like if you want to better yourself and you're going to do something that you think is bettering yourself, then do it.
Of course.
Then go ahead and do it. Like Gary Vee probably comes out with a challenge. Everyone on social media is like, hoorah, yeah, Gary Vee. Well, it's like, but some other dude that's not as well respected online makes a challenge. People are gonna be like, oh, why you got it? Blah, blah, blah.
Comes out as a little more of an aggressor.
Yeah.
People take it like, oh, he's trying to
he's
be
an alpha male. It's like, okay, if there's nothing wrong with you, there's alpha females too. Like, let them be it. Who cares?
I think because of social media, it has changed people's minds of who they should listen to based on sometimes either their status, how much money they have, and how much followers they have to attract the people that they're doing. So I don't want to give examples of celebrities or any of that nature, because there's, it could be anybody. But let's say one celebrity or influencer does something that changes the world, and then somebody who doesn't really on social media, who's not on social media that much or has that much attention, does the same thing. Not many people on social media would care enough unless it's brought to light and actually talked about it to a platform where millions or hundreds of thousands of people see it, and then they start to take notice of it. Yeah. Right.
We've talked about this before on the podcast numerous times, and I don't want to go down this road because it's a long, dark road.
Of course.
But when influencers who have a lot of followers, they in today's society have a lot of clout.
Yeah.
Just because they have millions of followers. Well, you remember back in the day when all these mega influencers were promoting skinny tea, and every influencer was promoting their version of skinny tea, and it's like basically just stuff that made you shit, and like you lost weight because everything that came in your body left your body. And then all these dietitians came out and said, guys, this isn't healthy. Don't take it. Or what are the waistbands called?
The waist trainers.
Waist trainers. Like everybody was doing it. And the doctor's like, hey, guys, this isn't really good. Like you probably should. But because all these mega influencers were promoting it and they have quote unquote clout, everyone thought it was good. It's like, yo, you're not an expert. You just have a lot of followers because you got a nice fat ass and you're hot. Like, you know
which is about 80% of women on Instagram specifically that promote their bodies in order to get OnlyFans or just to get sponsors. Well,
and the problem becomes, it's like when you have these, this is going to be my last comment on this. When you have these mega beautiful women who are either supernaturally gifted or physically enhanced, promoting certain products to help you grow your ass, it's like, yo, you didn't do that.
No.
Either God given to you or you paid for it. You know, Jen Selter, again, she was kind of, I don't know her story, but I know a lot of like ass models either built it themselves through hard work or they bought it. So it's not that they took this protein shake that gave them that fat ass. No, they spent hours in the gym or they spent hours making money to pay for it.
True.
One of the two, right? So that I'm not going to say.
I want to say something. I actually thought about this recently, and I want to say this thought out loud because I'm actually curious. Like, I haven't I've thought this in my head and I've tried to think about different angles to see if it makes sense. And I think I've come to a conclusion. Sorry, not come to a conclusion, but come to a bit of an idea of who I actually like to gravitate to listen to and who I tend to not to. If someone's on social media, and I don't mean this offensively to anybody who's like around and listening, I'm just telling you like my opinion. I tend to respect the opinion more of people, or the skill, I guess, of people who have non-transferable skills. Meaning, let's say somebody's a doctor or not a doctor. Let's say somebody. I'll use an example. There's personal trainers who have either gone to school for it, spent a lot of time doing it, and then developed their craft in the gym. Let's say there are people who have gotten extremely fit, self-teaching, and become trainers by hours and hours and hours of grinding and learning the human anatomy. And then, no offense, there's people that maybe go to a course for a weekend and now they're a personal trainer. They're all personal trainers, but some people have put the time in, and that time you invest is non-transferable. The person who went to a course for a weekend, I probably am equally as qualified to be a personal trainer. No offense, I appreciate you spending time, but I've bought. So, as an example, I spent a year of my life. I spent maybe 7 years of my life boxing, but I spent a good year trained to actually fight. So I put time in. I'm not an expert boxer or trainer, but I understand how to get in shape and do that stuff. So does that make me a trainer? I don't think so, but I'm qualified. Now, I guess what I'm saying is, I forget we're on this topic, but I think when you gravitate to people who, when you listen to people whose opinions, or you see people who are trying to promote something or whatever, just look and see why they're promoting it. Are they a domain expert? Are they some kind of person who's invested a lot of time and become somebody who has a non-transferable skill or a unique insight? For the most part, I would argue people on social media, the overwhelming majority don't. I would argue of all 3 billion users of Facebook's products, maybe less than 1%.
Yeah.
Less than 1%, which is still probably 3 million. Even that's going to be high. Are domain experts. So I'm not, if people want to make an income and a living and promote products, great, do it. But if you're going to go and make your decisions as an educated human being, someone with resources, I'm going to buy this because this person promotes it, you might have to. And that goes back to the point of Ricky saying something about literacy, financial literacy, stuff like that.
Well, let's say systemic problems.
Yeah.
The only anyways, comment, now we're getting again.
The only comment I would say is, based on somebody's experience and knowledge of something, it will show when they teach somebody or talk about it in conversation or in a video, right? That's the only thing I would say, is just do your research on the person and ask them questions that you could kind of gain to your knowledge and say, is this person credible to me?
That's fair. And I think that to that point, did we say on this podcast, I was talking to somebody recently, or said, if you really want to know if somebody really knows something, ask them why. I just let them talk. If they're talking about skinny tea, say, why should I take it? Okay. And let them answer. Okay. Why do you take it? And then say, why would anybody else? Why do we need this product? Just ask why a few times. Most people, if you dive 3-4 layers deep, if they're knowledgeable, they have the answers. Because asking somebody why you should do something, if they believe in something, they would typically know.
Yeah.
If you ask me why you should clean your house, I can tell you a million reasons because I work in cleaning. If I tell you, Ricky can tell you probably a lot about construction, a lot about working out, getting in shape, mental health, and all those things because he truly believes it and doesn't just preach it to gain followers, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing too. You're right. When you're gonna look for somebody for information, make sure they're credible. But an easy way to find if someone's credible is probe a little bit, push a little bit, and see, and you can kind of tell.
And also just give them a chance. And then you could formulate an opinion and a reference to other people, whether or not you want them to go to them. Like to gym. I go to the gym now for about 3 months, and
you look good.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I go something called Strong Lift 5x5,
That's what I do.
Really?
So I'm strong.
Sorry,
5x5 is you can explain it.
Okay, so Strong Lift 5x5. There's 2 different workouts. Okay, the first workout is bench press, squats, and barbell rows, okay? So let's say I do that on a Sunday. The next workout, I do it every other day. So then the second workout would be on a Wednesday. I would do squats, deadlifts, and overhead press. So each of those workouts, those are the main compounds of the Strong Lift 5x5. You do 5 sets for 5 reps, and then you're done with that different compound. And then on Friday, you would do the first workout you did of the week. And then 2 days later, you alternate. So let's say I do it on a Sunday, I do the second workout, then I alternate back and forth.
That makes sense.
So Sunday would be 4. If I do it on a Sunday, I do it 4 times a week, and I do 2 of the same workouts in that week.
Yeah,
and if
then
I
the
do
following week you only do 3 workouts.
They're meant to develop strength and like
makes sense.
more than like muscle endurance. I think.
yeah. So basically, and there's no in that whole workout, there's no cardio really. It's just for upper body strength mainly.
You know what? And I'm gonna get back on this because
Just fucking go.
It's bothering me. So when the example George gave about personal trainers, and
Rick's got a bone to pick with
I got a
personal
bone to pick
trainers.
with Good Life LA Fitness. And
Respectfully.
honestly, almost
Respectfully. That is
respectfully.
so that's so funny. When you add respectfully to the end, you obviously like.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm about to go off.
Yeah.
So I've been working out since I've been about 15, and
Okay.
I've my whole life I've never been overweight. Even at my worst, I'm still fairly fit.
Okay.
These people should have saw that barrel a couple months ago. Got him back. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Mark that one. You can post that. So I remember I've got a numerous, more than a handful of occasions, but with Good Life and LA Fitness and a lot of these big box gyms, these kind of cheap ones that promote just basic working out.
Yeah.
A lot of these personal trainers go and they do a course. They want to get into personal training, so they go and they do a course like George said. It's a weekend course, $1,000, and they're in there for 20 hours, and they walk out, boom, they're stamped personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I got no problem with people following their dreams and their passion, but what I have a problem is that people pretending to be experts in things they're not.
Exactly.
So just because you studied for 20 hours, okay, where'd you put in the work?
Mm-hmm.
Because you studied it, you know theoretically how to do it. I want to see you go out and fucking do it. So how are you? The example I got is I was doing a spinning class at a Good Life.
Okay.
And lady on the podium, she's thicker lady, right? Which I got no problem with because that doesn't mean you're not fit, right? That you could be thicker and still super fit. Well, she gets on the bike, cycles for 5 minutes, gets off the bikes, and she's kind of trying to pump people up. Okay, well, you know what? She gets back on the bike, and I hear her huffing and puffing now. And I'm like, all right, I'm huffing and puffing too. But then she gets off the bike, work, and she came right up to my bike, and I was beside my mom. Good Life, 27-7, worst Good Life in the city. So I was on the bike, and she comes right up to me and goes, come on, push it. I literally was like, you push it. You kidding me? You get on the bike. I want to see you fucking do it. If I'm struggling, I want to see you struggling. I don't care if you taught 2 other classes. I don't give a fuck. You get on the bike, and if you're going to tell me to do it, you better be able to do it too. That's why the ones that like spin, soul cycle, these like kind of more community-based ones, like they do it a lot of the times. And F45 at the beginning, all their trainers, when I first started going to a couple of them here and there, were all jacked. If somebody's telling me to lift weights, I want that person to be doing that too. I want to see that person's put in the work and they're able to do what they're telling me to do. Because if you can't do what you're telling me to do, then you can't fucking do it. I don't need to fucking do it. Because it's just, again, practice what you preach. If you want to tell somebody to go and, it's not hard. Okay, fucking prove it.
Yeah.
You're telling me it's not hard?
Yeah.
I just ran 400 meters or whatever. You go run 400 meters.
Yeah.
I just sprinted up this imaginary hill because you were yelling at me. I'm huffing and puffing. I want you huffing and puffing with me. Don't tell me to, pedal harder, turn it up 3 notches. You fucking turn it up. Honestly, that's it.
You know what's funny? You know what's so funny?
I appreciate you letting
Like,
loose, man.
That's, like your face is.
irks me, man.
That's the exact same rant that George did with the podcast and Anthony Ernesto.
Man.
Like he went on like a 3-minute rant.
Oh yeah, I did go.
Listen,
like,
I don't get personal trainers.
I forgot about that. I don't get a tangent with them.
I don't get personal trainers a lot of times because I've got 15 now 16 years of just hard work.
Yeah.
I've never, minus vacations, I've never gone a week without the gym. Even if I'm injured, I still go and I'll stretch, I'll walk, I'll do anything because the gym is my sanctuary.
Yeah.
So over the last 16 years, I've learned more than a thing or two.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see these personal trainers that, they might have qualifications, great, but I don't know if you can really benefit me. And then I signed up with one about 2 years ago because the dude had my ideal body. He goes tall and jacked. And I'm like, I want to look like you. What do we got to do?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I've hit a plateau. What do I got to do? He's like, what do you like doing? I'm like, let's try boxing. He's like, all right, we'll box. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I got super jacked. Unfortunately, personal training is expensive as fuck. So
Yeah, it is.
had to stop that for a bit. But
Yeah, I get.
just practice what you preach. If you want to talk about like a dietitian or a nutritionist that's not fit or not like relatively healthy looking, I would kind of be like, yo, well, you're telling me to fucking go on this diet. Well, yo, where's yours?
Yeah.
It's like, would you like look? A lot. It's
An orthodontist with not straight teeth. Like, I wouldn't go to an orthodontist who didn't have straight teeth.
Or at least
the only
good teeth.
exception. The only exception is hairdressers, because some are just natural, like bald or whatever. Like some got short hair that's cool looking, whatever. I'd go to them, but like A dentist with a bad smile, nope, not going there. Orthodontist, same thing. An overweight personal trainer.
I'll say something though. I agree. I know what you're saying, but there's some examples aren't. I don't know if they hold like water. So
would you hire a gardener with a bad garden?
Well, hang on a second. I know what you're saying. The dentist one I think is hard because what if the teeth aren't perfectly straight, but they've never had a cavity in their life? Let's say because that's still healthy teeth. Like for example, I'm overweight.
Yes,
but when me and you first got in the boxing ring, I also had more weight on you, which is different. But like I could hold my own. Yeah. Like from a cardio perspective, I've always been big, but I run like a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Someone looks at me, they're gonna compare me to Rick. Yeah,
maybe not dentist, but orthodontist.
but I'm saying there's but they're just their teeth, right? Like if their teeth are healthy, they fix teeth.
Orthodontist straighten teeth.
With braces,
smiles, right?
Braces, yeah.
What if an orthodontist is like a mechanic for teeth, basically. What if your mechanic drives an old shit box, but the engine is mint?
If it drives, I'm good because I'm there to make my car drive.
Yeah, but his teeth.
Would you go to a auto body shop with a guy that had had dents in his car?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, remember what they specialize in, right? Orthodontists specialize in making making teeth straight.
I don't know if that's just like they fix your bite, they fix everything, right? Anyways, we can go to semantics. I think the example is very specific, but yeah. Like I think we're just getting to a specific
pals. Yeah,
I think we're both just like we're both equally wound up about this, or we're just.
Oh yeah, I got wound up there. That's why
I just let you guys talk amongst yourselves because it seems like it's a personal issue.
No. I just thought I was thinking about that example because when Rick made that analogy, I just
imagine a photographer sends you examples of photos and they're just fucking shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like blurry and not in focus.
The best way to do it is it's like a trainer, and again, respect to all trainers. If you go take a course, you essentially read a book or took something in a manual. You didn't get real world application. So it's the same as you wouldn't go to a pilot who's never flown. You wouldn't go to a cleaner who's never picked up a mop. You just wouldn't do. You shouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't go to somebody who hasn't a real world practice and application. Yeah. Someone who boxes, I could shadow box the shit out of anything. But as soon as you step in the ring, you could look like Mike Tyson out of the ring. You step in the ring, you get punched. Like you just.
Do you know what's a good example? Okay, so. Massage therapists, I don't think they need university degrees. They need those college courses, right? Or those
a certificate.
Yeah, whatever. And I think it's you need 200 hours of practice, and they give either free or super cheap massages at these little clinics. And there's one at Caledonia and Lawrence. There was a little clinic on the corner. I used to go. It was $25 or $30 for an hour massage.
Shut up.
But it's from a rookie.
Who gives a shit?
Right? My back hurts, man. I'm out of benefits right now. I got boom. I'm going to this $30 place because you can just tell person, hey, it doesn't feel good, and I don't feel bad about telling them it doesn't feel good because I know the guy or girl is still learning.
He or she.
That's how it should be with personal trainer. It's okay. You had your 20-hour course. You theoretically learned. You read the book. Cool. I got no disrespect to those courses, but I want the real world practice. You must have 200 hours or 100 hours in the gym. Or if you're gonna train me, I get a discount because you're a rookie.
That's where I agree with that. I think that's the point to it.
And you charge $80 all of a sudden because you got a fucking certificate.
It kind of ties into the.
Out of here.
I agree. It kind of ties into that aspect of the creator aspect and what it's also creating in the world is that, again, people should be able to earn off their name, image, likeness, off their reputation, off their skills. But I think too, the other thing is we're all seeing this rise of the social media creators and coaches, if you will, trainers, whatever it is, but not just fitness, any kind of coach, business coach, whatever. And a lot of people now. I guess they come out and my time is worth. I know what my time is worth. I can tell if I told you what I think my time is worth, you think I'm crazy. I don't even return clothes sometimes. I'm just I'm also give it away to go return a shirt for $10. It'll take me more time to drive and stand there. But the thing is, a lot of people come out and say, okay, you want me to train you? Okay, $100 an hour. Well, hang on a second. You just finished a course. What are your credentials? And the unfortunate thing is some people will end up getting suckered into paying that, and it does a disservice them. It's really bad. And one of the things I want to kind of harken back to, and this is a bit of an assumption, but I'm pretty sure I know this. In Japanese culture, Japanese culture has a long history of they're very proud and they take a lot of pride in the work they do. Oh, interesting. My Siri heard that. But they take a lot of pride, especially when it comes to stuff like sushi and different craftsmanship professions. But in sushi, you're not allowed to pick up a sushi knife for your first 2 years. You're not allowed to cut sushi. You start out cleaning the restaurant. You want to work at a sushi restaurant in Japan, for the most part, the good ones, you start as a cleaner. You clean tables, you wipe down everything down. From there, you get to make rice. And you spend about 1 year to 2 years making rice. Think about that. Your job is to make white rice every single night.
Yeah. Isn't that the easiest thing to ever make?
What? Yeah, well, if you're going to make
don't you?
That's a very bold statement. It's a very bold
statement. I thought it was super easy.
No, when you're making like sushi rice the proper way, like a Michelin star restaurant, let's say, for instance, or even a high-end restaurant, there's a lot of ways to do it. I know there's you got to put a lot of time and effort into it. It's got to be precise,
my
right?
bad.
Well, it's like an art form. It's like an art expression. Like they put a lot of time into it. But the thing is, from rice, you go from rice. I think you go to making, I forget what the egg is called, but it's an egg omelet, Japanese one that you whip up with chopsticks. And you have to do that, I think, for like 3 years. And once you master how to make that, then you're allowed to pick up a knife and start cutting sushi, like sashimi pieces. Think about that. It takes like 5, 6, 7 years to become a cleaner to that. And people put their time in, and then they become a master of their craft. And they can go say, I'm going to charge you $1,000 for a piece of sushi, and you'll pay for it because they're a pro. I think today, like now in like Western culture, with the rise of social media and the rise of the easy access,
you watch a YouTube video, boom.
Yeah, now I'm an
expert.
expert.
Up your own sushi.
Now I'm an expert. I'm a personal trainer, so you're gonna charge $100 an hour. No, like put your time in. You have to establish your worth to people and establish the value.
Yeah.
Also, hey, it's a bit of like a tangent there, but that's the one thing I disagree with. And a lot of people, I think, if you can charge it, you can make it good. But I don't think you're establishing credibility. You're not establishing goodwill with people. Like you really, if you want to build it's about longevity and the. Like that's how you build a good reputation. It's how you build good clientele. It's how you build people that'll stick with you through the thick and the thin. And a lot of us want that quick, instant hit and the gratification. Where more people should put the time and take the time to grind it out.
It's called dopamine.
Yeah,
the dopamine. Like it's just like when there's a guy named Simon Sinek who talked about it.
With why?
Yeah, the Millennial Question. Have you seen that?
No.
You should watch that video. It's called the Millennial Question. It's a 15-minute video of 15 of him basically explaining the 4 characteristics of millennials and what he saw in the workplace. And that's a whole different video you guys could watch. But what he was saying is that the dopamine that people get from a text message or a notification on Instagram or whatever social media app that you get, it gets you excited, and then once it's gone, then it's gone, and it's just temporary. So that's the same thing of like what you're saying when like, I don't know, you get a viral video on TikTok or you get, I don't know, 1 million views on YouTube, for example, right? You get that high, and it's just temporary, and then once it's all gone, what do you do from there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And also about sushi and rice with Rick, he was like, sushi's easy to make. Like, no, there's actually 2 ways of making rice, either in a pot or using a rice cooker. And I think the rule of thumb for a pot is, I think, is it like 2 cups of water to the amount of rice you have, I think, or something like that. So it's like, let's say you have 4 cups of rice, you put 8 cups of water.
It varies. Like I actually cook a lot of rice lately because I'm like on my diet, whatever. I do like if you're like. You can do like a 1 cup to 1 cup, but as it gets more, it gets incrementally more. So when I do like 2 cups of rice, dry rice, like 2.5 cups of water.
Yeah,
it varies. But even sushi rice, you put like most people, I think they put like malt vinegar in it after to kind of give it some sticky. That's how you get the sticky rice.
So with rice cookers, this is a very Filipino trick that I learned from my mom. Okay, so when you're cooking rice, okay, when you fill the water, I don't know, let's say you have 6 cups of rice. Okay, when you're filling up your rice, the very first line of your index finger is the line of how much water you should put. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be perfectly cooked rice. So the first line on your index finger right here is how much water it should rise above from the rice.
So you touch the rice and that's how much water.
Yeah. So from the surface of the rice.
Yeah.
When the water hits, flat on the rice. Once it reaches the first line.
That's in a pressure cooker or in a rice cooker?
Just regular rice cooker.
Yeah, I bet you Kwai's rice probably sucks. Eh?
Yeah. So that's a tip.
Guys' fingers
so if you're not Filipino, or
how do you even think of that?
I just think I'm like, bro, what if everyone's hands are a little bit different size?
Yeah.
Kwai's got massive hands, bro. Those fucking long ass fingers.
It's mainly a Filipino thing and mainly an Asian, like that people use rice cookers. But for those who don't use rice cookers much or don't know how to cook rice,
looks at the camera for this. I love this.
Right. That's my trick, and that's like a sort of a family trick that I've learned, and it works 9 times out of 10.
You a good cook?
So funny you mentioned this. So I actually went to culinary. I went to culinary school. I went to Humber for 2 years. After high school, and I did like this program where they take high school students, and they pay for your tuition. They pay for your uniform. All you have to do is pay for transportation. I forget what the program was, and they cover all of that. So you just go to school as a high school student as co-op, and you learn your level 1 apprenticeship. So I did that for 2 years, and I finished it. Although it wasn't really something I wanted to do. And to answer your question with cooking, there's a very few recipes that I could really cook, and it would be spaghetti mainly, like anything pasta related, anything chili related. I can make some really dope chili.
Okay.
And some dope spaghetti. And there's a Filipino recipe that you use sugar and you use hot dogs in your spaghetti sauce.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sugar and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Fucking want a hot dog right now.
Yeah, but Filipinos use a lot of sweet things like in their foods.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of Jollibee before?
Yeah, they just came to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open in Mississauga, I think.
There's a
That's the one with
lot.
the really fluffy looking top.
No, Jollibee's a chain.
It's a fast food. It's a fast
But
food.
what's the main food that like? Is it the one with the fluffy top looking? It kind of looks like a very fluffy pancake. The top of it? No.
What are you talking
What the fuck
about?
am I thinking?
No, well, okay, so there's
Jollibee's a store.
Jollibee is a fast food chain in the Philippines, and it expanded worldwide. And
It's Jolly.
JOLLIBEE. And mainly the fast food restaurant. Excuse me. Mainly it's spaghetti, fried chicken. They have this dish called palabok, which is like rice noodles with shrimp and like green onions. It's like a really good one. And then there's a delicacy called balut. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's a duck. No, it's not a duck. What kind of embryo? It's an embryo. I forget. Actually, I forget what kind of embryo. I think it's a
Quail?
no.
Pheasant?
Good thing we got someone on the computer.
Can you? Sorry.
She can't spell it. How do you spell it?
BALUT.
Fertilized bird egg.
Fertilized bird egg is an embryo, right? Yeah, usually a duck. I was about to say a duck, but I wasn't.
I think you said
confidently
dog,
sure.
actually. Yeah.
And so basically, it's about a week to 2 weeks old, and it still has feathers. And you crack open the top of the egg. You drink the juice, which is a bit like salty a bit, and then you just eat the embryo. And
I eat everything, but fuck that.
And I haven't tried it personally. There was a guy on YouTube from New York who did this, and they described it as like chicken.
Oh.
So it's very like soft meat. But you eat, and my dad said it's between a week to 2 weeks old that it's the best, like, to eat it. If it's 3 weeks old, it's a bit bad to eat it.
I can tell you right now. So I grew up in a household where my dad made me eat everything as a kid. My dad's an amazing cook. Like, cooks everything. You could have said that on the mic. That was actually a good one. That was really
I was
good.
gonna say it earlier, but you said it twice.
Ricky said you could tell. You should have said.
Well, you're like, I eat everything before. I was like, I looked at you. I was like, nah, I gotta go.
I'm the least picky eater. I'll eat everything. I spent a month in India. Like I'll go to street vendors. Like 1 second. Why's my phone? Oh shoot, sorry.
Yeah, but George does eat everything.
But and I'll try everything once. Honestly, I probably wouldn't try. That freaks me out knowing that it was like a little like
Duck embryo.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
My uncle is from Switzerland, and he tries a lot of different meat. He tried like snake meat. He's tried
I would try that snake meat.
a lot of
I've
different
eaten
meats.
kangaroo. I've eaten alligator.
Wait, kangaroo. What's that?
Alligator.
Yeah, kangaroo's like a pork chop.
I feel like it'd be very chewy for some reason.
From what I remember, I had it in like 2009, so it was a long time ago.
So what's the most like odd food you've had?
Scorpion for me.
Scorpion, huh?
Yeah,
Where was that?
Thailand, yeah, in Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah,
I did all the street things.
I never did that.
First night I got there, I was like,
Did it taste all right?
it was just. I remember being very crunchy.
It's like whatever.
Yeah, just like you're just.
What
like,
were you, George?
Well, it depends what people classify as weird. Like Greeks, like at Easter time, we roast lamb on a spit, right? So
Okay.
Greeks may be Orthodox in general, but we do lamb on a spit. Very popular thing in Greek culture. And when you're doing the lamb, you obviously clean it out. You get all like the innards, so like the intestines, the heart, the kidney, whatever. So I eat all that stuff. Like I don't know if that's
Oh,
weird to
that's bomb.
people, but it's really good. Liver, liver's very good for you. I hate liver though; it's very dry.
Yeah.
Put a little tzatziki on
my
that?
dad makes a lot of. My dad cooks like chicken, like gizzards and hearts, little tiny chicken hearts. They're really like chewy. I make them like he does them sometimes. They're not on all the time.
His dad's a sick cook too.
Yeah,
Dope.
My dad and brother have. I've seen them do it and I haven't done it. This would have been the weirdest thing for me, but I haven't eaten it. Lamb eyeballs. Like they pull the eyeball out and they eat it. I think that's fucking.
I could do that.
I would say
You would do that?
Anything lamb, I would eat.
Yeah,
You eat the eyeball.
I
I'd
love
eat the
All
eyeball.
right, buddy.
lamb.
Coming over for Easter, you're gonna try the
Buddy, I
eyeball.
love. You guys didn't invite me the last 2 years.
We didn't have
COVID.
it. Yeah, we don't have it.
I used to come. I used to go to his family Easters. Then they have the lamp spin and everything. Man, great.
Yeah. Well, to answer my own question, I would say.
Sorry.
Frog legs. I think it's. And then my parents lied to me saying it was chicken because I was
tastes like it though.
My mom used to do that with fish when I was a kid. Breaded fish.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, it's chicken." And then you start, wait a second. But after like 5 bites, and you're like, all right, what? Actually, random story. So, me and my mom, we were in Miami this weekend, and so we're walking to get my COVID test.
Yeah.
And mind you, which is also so dumb. So I got my COVID test on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I landed Friday. Saturday morning, I went to get my COVID test. I flew out Monday night. So what's the point of getting the COVID test? Anyways?
Yeah.
So we're walking to the CVS or whatever to get this test. Or Sunday, whatever. We walked by this little a Spanish spot. No, it was
Cuban.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think it might have been Cuban.
Because there's a lot of Cubans in Miami.
Lots, yeah.
It was either Cuban or Colombian. One of the two. Started with a C.
No racial.
Yeah. So we ended up eating at this place. So we ordered, and the whole menu's in Spanish.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, what's really good? They recommended 5 things. So we ordered all 5 things, or these 5 items, tapas style kind of thing.
Oh, I love that.
So they bring out the first. So we see something go to this table here, and I asked our server, new person. I'm like, hey, did we order that? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, what's that called? He's like, oh, look, I just started. I was like, hey, no big deal. Don't worry about it. So they bring us out our first dish. Right, it's a big piece of meat with some like rice on the side. I'm like, sick. So we started eating. So our original server comes back. I was like, oh, by the way, what is this? He's like, you didn't order that. I was like, oh, well, it's good. He's like, yeah, I don't know how this got here. I was like, oh, my bad. We're going to keep it now. Like, we already ate half of it. He's like, yeah, don't worry. It's on the house. So they ended up giving us the wrong meal, which turned out to be the best thing we ordered out of the 5 items.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Do you remember what it was?
Something bisteca, so which obviously means like steak, right?
Ooh,
but I can't remember. But it was so good. Me and my mom was sat there. We're like, can't believe how good this was.
Did you remember? Like, do you write it down?
No. But I know where the restaurant was. It was really good. And I actually have the picture so I can put my Google review back. So I'm going to start Google reviewing. I did want to ask you, so on this food topic, how'd you go from food to photography?
Okay, so after I did that, I did IT for a year at Sheridan, which Sheridan Brampton sucks. And then after that, it was 2014, so it's been 8 years now. And it started as a hobby, and I actually mentioned this a couple times, but for the new viewers, it was just a hobby of mine where when I traveled with my family, whether it be Quebec or Ottawa or Niagara Falls, I always had a interest for photography, and I just didn't know too much about it. All I knew is like, okay, you have a camera, you set it on auto, and you just click a button, and you take that photo, and it's just on your camera, and you could save it, you could put it on a USB. Remember the little USB sticks back in the day? So used to do that, and pretty much.
Were you good?
Well, as anyone started, like I just learned it. I just did auto settings, so I didn't really have to do much in terms of technical things. And so my parents just let me use a camera, and I just started taking photos just for fun, go to downtown, and just captured anything that I found interesting. And then it just became something that I really enjoyed doing, and I considered it becoming a career about 2 years later. In 2016 is when I started to really commit to it. My parents bought me a Canon Rebel T5 for my birthday, and then that was my very first camera, and then just went with it from then on. Like I just continued, and like for anyone who doesn't know, 905 Shooter was before anyone like knew who I was on social media. So like I had that name for 8 years now, and that's like how I came about it. And the origin of that is 905 Mississauga. Mississauga's area code is 905, and Shooter is just a shorter word for photographer. And I didn't want to make it a long name, and I actually got the inspiration from this guy whose name is 416 Shooter. So I got the inspiration from him. And
so you ripped him off, eh?
Kind of, but it was a
You're
dope.
the guy that shoots on rooftops and shit. No,
It's a different guy. Different guy. His name is Rooftopper. Different guy.
Oh, that's a good one too.
But basically, like I got that. That's how I created my name. And then so from then on, I just started wanting to make it a full-time thing where I wanted to make it a career. I wanted to get into it. Started doing brand like model shoots, and started doing like brand work, like shooting for brands. And obviously at the beginning it was doing for free. And to kind of go back to your point, George, about having the expertise, the experience of it, I'm not going to go into a shoot 2 years into my photography career and expect to get paid for something when I don't feel confident in myself of having the experience and the knowledge of taking photos and making sure it looks good for the client or brand or whomever it may be. And so I learned it actually through YouTube. I search up tutorials, how to use the aperture, the shutter speed, the ISO. And my brother was also an inspiration for me in terms of getting myself into photography, and also learning through him simple things, or not even simple things, but like things that I wouldn't see on YouTube, for example. And I just applied what I learned, and I just went out and shot photos and started working on that, and then eventually fixing up my editing, because that's what made it most important. And so now, to go back to that whole conversation, which is very relative to me as a photographer, I'm not going to suggest a camera, for example, if I don't have my own research about it, or if I don't know whether or not it's good for an amateur or an expert, or not an expert, but a more experienced person in terms of what camera to use for what style, whether it be photography or videography. And so I'm not going to go cheap and do free shoots anymore, because I have that experience and I have the portfolio. I do have my photos on my Instagram to back up what I present to people. And also for videos, like my YouTube channel is my portfolio to show people, okay, this is what I shoot. This is how I create my videos. And this is the body of work that I create in my videos, where if this is something that interests you and there's something of a style that you like, I could create that for you, right? And it's funny when you were talking about if you can do it, then show me yourself, right? And so whenever somebody, for example, would comment, yo, you have a trash video, or like your photos are trash, whatever, right? Just as a funny troll, it's like, one, find a better, if you're gonna troll somebody, at least be funny about it, okay? And second of all, if you're calling my work trash, then do it yourself and prove to other people that you're a better photographer, or you have the same amount of talent or even better than I do, right? If your account is private, or if you have selfies of you with your boys and you're tagging all your buddies in your photos, everything you're saying is just meaningless, right? Or if they say your videos suck, it's like, well, where are your videos on your YouTube channel? Like, why don't you have any videos, right? And it's so simple for people to talk, but no action.
It's that. It's like that meme where you see like the really fat guy with like the popcorn all over his chest watching TV. It's like, I can't believe he missed that kick. You know? It's like,
yeah.
You see all these guys like chirping from the background.
And that's a whole different conversation about trolling. But like, I guess to segue into bullying is another topic I really talk about, is because it's very personal to me. It's a very like personal thing I like to make people more aware of. And I don't want to make it too deep, because I don't know if this is like a deep sort of conversational type of podcast.
Go ahead.
But I have dealt with a lot of bullying in my life, and that's what kind of propelled me to sort of talk about and speak about it when people are bullying people, whether it be in person or online. And it's like, that's what kind of shaped me into becoming an adult and who I am today, because I don't want to see people deal with that how I did it. And back then there was no social media. We were very new to it. There was just cell phones. I had a Motorola Razr as my first phone. So people were not aware of this, and they would go to lengths of like people calling me, like making it as a joke, guys, that I was gay, that I was in a relationship with one of my classmates, which is really like odd. And then I was in love with my teacher. And I actually said this on a podcast literally 2 days ago. And it was like, they didn't take mental health or bullying as serious, because there was not much awareness and there was not much people speaking out about it. So what they did really was suspend these kids for like 3 days. I don't even know if they told the parents about the situation, because they came back from the suspension and they acted like nothing happened. They kept continuously doing it. None of the teachers really did anything about it. None of the principals did anything about it. And that followed into high school where the same thing happened, and the same mentality of, okay, like if I suspend them, then maybe they will change. It's like you can't just change somebody based on disciplining them for not them being at school. It also comes down to the parenting of them making sure that their kids just don't become a piece of shit.
Yeah, a lot of it's on education and awareness too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you just discipline someone with no like education, follow up, no kind, I don't want to call it a pep talk, but like no proper training on why this is wrong, why you can't do this, why you're getting suspended. Say, hey, you're suspended because you can't do this. Well,
yeah.
Okay, well, why can't I do this? Why? Like, what's the bad part about it? Why is bullying bad? Why is all these things? So
yeah,
it probably goes back to your point about if you dig 3 layers deeper, you find out a lot of these kids probably don't know anything.
100%. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and that's why social media has really like brainwashed kids into thinking that acting a certain way or being funny online is being the cool person, right?
Well, there's that account, Anonymous or whatever. It's he's like basically a social media vigilante kind of thing where he finds people that bully people online and then like discovers their true identity and like sends it to like their school, their employers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok or something.
Please send me this because there's like
I'll find it.
There's so many people like
this guy, because it'll be like you'll see an article like I know Johnny Apple committed suicide because he was being bullied online, and this guy will literally go to this Johnny Apple's Facebook page or Instagram or TikTok, find all the bullies, and then find their real identity, send it to their parents, the police, blah blah.
I salute that guy because I don't know why, but like I felt like some days it's like I should probably go to the parents or at least contact the person's, I don't know.
Yeah, like do you know what your kid's doing?
Yeah, like do you like, because I'll be honest, there's like hundreds of messages of people just being disrespectful and like trolling me, and it's like, okay, is that what you're gonna do with your life? And I some days I feel like, well, maybe I should just do that where I go to I creep, because it's easy to creep people nowadays, where I go to somebody that they know or a parent or something that they follow and send it to their parents and be like, this is what your kids are doing online. What do you think of this? Or like just something to give them awareness, right?
I give one piece of advice. As I listen, I haven't had to endure it ever online. Like when I posted videos that weren't that like popular, so I didn't have to deal with this stuff. You can think about it like, let's use Joe Rogan for example. Yeah. When you're doing something and people they don't like what you're doing, they don't agree with you, or they just don't like you as a person, they're just insecure with who they are, they're going to project things onto you. I think the biggest thing, like again, people who typically troll online, let's say, or bully online, they do it, I think for 2 reasons. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm going to make an assumption. They're either projecting their insecurities on the person, or they're trying to elicit a reaction out of you, and they get gratification when you're going to waste your time to acknowledge them. So I'm not a doctor or a therapist here. I would venture to guess that even breathing life into it, like it's okay. I agree with talking about like the mental health aspect and why it's a terrible thing for people to do. And I have most kids, like, you know, the ones who bully end up, I think, growing up being unhappy and all that stuff. Like, it's a terrible way to be. But even doing that kind of stuff, like, you know, giving them the benefit of the doubt of going to their parents or whatever, because who knows, maybe their parents are also bullies and shit people. No offense, but sometimes the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or the kid could just have gone through stuff and end up the way they did. But yeah, I think by like giving them that satisfaction, I think it actually like kind of plays into what they want.
True, and like
could be. I don't know the scenario, so I can't speak to it entirely.
I never done it just because it's. One, it could be like, it's like, one, they could just probably ignore it, or they don't care about it. Yeah. Right. And it's honestly, it's like, I'm not even going to give my attention to doing that because there's just so much energy and time wasted in doing, unless it's something that's like personal or something attacking me as a character or as a person, then yeah, I would report it, because that's probably something that's like, you know, I would feel disrespected about.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Right? And especially if it's like death threats or something like that, then that's where like...
certain things don't, certain things get too far. You got to kind of nip them in the bud.
But if it's just like a random kid like trying to be funny, it's like, okay, you're trying to be funny. But you are right, though, in terms of the two things you pointed out, which is true. Yeah. And I could I could tell you that I've had personal experience, whether it be a TikTok live, and...
Oh, I get it too.
And some days I just kind of wish, in a sense, where I didn't really have that sort of that spotlight because I just want to be a regular person, but some people don't want to treat me as a regular person, and they use everything as my past as a way to kind of make themselves feel better about themselves, because people want to say, oh, like this guy, like, just to kind of a background of, I'm sure if maybe you guys don't know, but like I was part of a group called Nelk, which I've talked about before, but to kind of just break it down, like people use my past as a way to make it feel like they could get to me. And it's like, I've accepted it already. I've already acknowledged it and I've already moved on from it. But people like to always keep bringing it up as a way to really have a conversation or a way to really get a reaction. And it's like, it's not going to work anymore because I'm already done with that. Like, there's no need to keep bringing up things that are already done and it's already been settled. And so when people go on my live, like they would like comment the same things over and over again.
Bro, I saw that 8 weeks ago when you commented the same thing. Like, move on.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because once a joke gets done, they move on to the next joke, or they find something else that's relatable in the culture that we live in, and use that as a joke, right? And
it's like, it's not funny.
Yeah,
it's like, give it up.
And that's why I personally am staying away from the whole cultural thing of the trends or what people find funny or what they feel like they care about on social media. Right?
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's the Western culture though. They absorb everything and feel like it's important to them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I give you an example. Celebrities get pregnant or they get married, and everybody makes a whole story out of it. Like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I mean, obviously, congrats to them. But like, for me as a regular person too, it's like, it's just like any other person who gets married and puts it on social media, although nobody's going to know that because they don't have millions of followers or millions of people seeing it.
Yeah, it's like the Rihanna thing today. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Like, everywhere you look, people are posting about it. It's like, yo, your best friend's getting pregnant. Why aren't you posting about that? But or someone you don't know is getting pregnant and you feel the need to say, oh my God, this is the greatest thing to happen to social media today. It's like, really? I don't think it is, but
no.
You know, I saw a video of like an army vet coming back to return to his kid who hasn't seen him in like 3 years. Like, that was pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
That gave me more emotion and more feels than Rihanna's pregnancy. But hey.
And that's why, like, I don't like...
George's sitting there is like, this is why I fucking hate social media.
No, but that's why I don't really like going on social media and seeing that or care enough, because it's like I just scroll past all that. I don't give them the algorithm of liking it or commenting on certain things, because then it continues to post. It continues to show.
We literally talked about this last week.
Yeah,
we literally had this almost identical conversation.
Yeah, it just shows up for whatever you like. So if you don't like that, then it won't show up. So for me,
my Instagram, my TikTok looks exactly what I like.
yeah, exactly. So I like to share more motivational things because that's what I believe in and that's what I care about more, and that's what I like to see on my feed more. And that's why
makes sense.
It makes my day better seeing that type of stuff that people don't normally get to see all the time.
I get that. We are nearing kind of the end, but I did want to kind of ask you one kind of final question.
Sure.
Unless you got anything else you want to ask?
I just wonder how many people would be happier if they got off social media entirely.
I think millions of people.
I think everybody would.
Yeah. What's the time they're looking?
We're definitely
over an hour.
Oh, but it's a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to ask you, what's the year have in store for you? What's 2022 look like for you?
I don't know yet. So I'm the type of person that doesn't really plan ahead too much.
Fly by the seat of your pants.
But I do like to travel more. I do want to create more content and meet more dope people like you guys. Do more podcasts because I love podcasts.
Love that for you, man.
Yeah.
What's one country you really want to visit this year?
Oh, if I could, I would definitely want to visit Tokyo. Yeah. If I could.
Sick place.
That's a bucket list.
Me and Georgie went together for his 27th birthday.
Yeah, 28. Sorry, 28.
28.
2018 April.
I'm turning 28 in July, so...
It's a good one. Tokyo's a crazy place.
Yeah,
amazing place.
Actually, sorry, that's a city. Sorry, I meant Japan. That's
Japan. Yeah.
We did Tokyo. We did Tokyo, Kyoto, and Hiroshima.
Yep.
And
Hiroshima
and
gave you
Miyajima
feels.
as well.
Hiroshima, I remember just standing there, like just.
So weird though, because the only place where the bomb dropped, only one place standing.
No.
The city's rebuilt.
There's two places.
The structure, though, I'm saying, the structure that exists, they kept it up as like the memorial. It's just one building.
Oh, really?
And we
the
went
bomb
at
exploded
night.
right up directly above.
We
the
went at
building.
night and during the day, and it's like when you went at night with all the lights, it gives you chills. It's
Eerie, yeah.
it
Very
is
eerie.
like yeah.
Tokyo's cool, though.
Yeah.
But Jason, thank you for coming on, chatting
Thank
with
you.
us. If people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, and everything, where can they go? How can they find you?
Okay, yeah. So Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at 905 Shooter. My YouTube, you can search up Jason Pagaduan. It's my name. And also been doing NFTs. Starting to get into the space. OpenSea, 905 Shooter. I like to keep all my things
Handles the same.
uniform.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
So even Facebook, LinkedIn, same thing. 905 Shooter.
Oh, I like that. All right. Well, Danielle will make sure she posts all the links in the socials and in the bio. And guys, if you made it to the end of this, we really appreciate you. Share this episode with a friend. Tag your friends. Follow me and Jason, and give Danielle a follow. She'll get the plug until George ever gets social media back. But other than that, thank you for listening. And that is all.
LFG.
Let's go. Signing off. Cheers.
Peace. I did my research.